So that'll be nice. And you got some weed? You ain't got no weed. What's a dessert that you like that's not chocolate? Besides cheesecake. I don't want to make cheesecakes for other people, babe.
Okay.
You know, you don't like doing certain art styles because it's just not your thing. Cheesecake is not my thing. I make that for you. What about sugar cookies? I don't like sugar cookies like that. Lemon cake, banana bread, nothing.
I like red velvet.
That I could do, but that's still chocolate. You know that's still chocolate, right?
It's white chocolate.
I know, but I'm trying to think of something that's not chocolate for the people who don't like chocolate. Listen, if you don't like chocolate, you just ain't gonna be able to eat it. Put it like that. Tell me something that's not chocolate. Red velvet. That's chocolate. It's white chocolate. Is it really white chocolate? Are you sure about that? You taught me something new. You wanna call that chick now or you wanna wait? I would've talked to her for you.
Hello, Tasha?
Yes.
How are you doing? This is Travis Prince.
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
Oh, hi, okay. I was confused for a second. Give me 1 second. Let me get out of this room. 1 second. Thank you. Hi, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. So you are an artist, right?
Correct.
Okay. Sorry, I wrote like a million people today. So I work for Amazon here in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, and what we're looking to do is celebrate and embrace and just put out there people's businesses that are Black-owned businesses, Black-owned arts, Black-owned anything for the month of February, for Black History Month. So we're looking to see if we can have an artist such as yourself come in, represent yourself, maybe either bring art with you or maybe do art in the moment here while you'll be at Amazon. Whichever one is better for you, honestly. And let me give you a date actually. 1 second. Let me look at the calendar. The 13th of February. That would be. What's January? February. So it would be February 1st, and then again February 3rd. That we would have come in if you wanted to, whether it's bring your business cards, bring posters that say like your Instagram or whatever it is that people could contact you and just represent yourself here at Amazon. We have about 2,800 people here, so you have. It's just like a really good look for you to like celebrate your business and put it out there to the associates here.
Okay, and what kind of setting would this be in? You guys have a auditorium or a community room or?
So we'll have you in our break room. So your event would be, it would be limited in time, just because the associates only get 30 minutes during lunches.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 different lunches. So the first lunch starts around 11. The last lunch ends around like 1:15ish.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have all throughout that time to do whatever you wanted to display your skills, and you would do it like right in front of these associates, whatever arts, whatever you wanted to present to them in that moment. And then what we were thinking was we'd keep that art that you create, and we're having another event the following week where we'll put your art on display for the whole week, and like whatever information you want them to know about that specific art. And it doesn't have to be that art, it could be another art from a different time, your best work or whatever you wanted to show off. We're going to put that on display for a full week, for the week following when you would come out, just to show, so everyone is reminded of what you've done and who you are and everything about you.
Sounds very intriguing. So the way I create art is, there's nothing I could really create in 30 minutes. That's not my style, but I could definitely bring in a piece of original art and maybe some prints or something to show and just talk about my creative process and the importance and meaning behind my art, and share that with the individuals there. The only thing that I have issue with is I'm not a full-time artist. I actually work a 9 to 5 myself, and so these dates would interrupt my normal work schedule. And I don't.
So this is definitely going to be a paid event. So you set the pay that you want for these days, and we will accommodate you with whatever pay you need.
And so you say you want me there 2 days.
Yep. So it'll be Tuesday. What day was that? The 3rd. Look again.
Tuesday is the 1st, and then the 3rd is that Thursday.
Yep. So we do both those days. And so we have a day shift and a night shift here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you'd be here during the lunches. So day shift lunch is 11:30ish to about 1:30ish, and then night shift is the opposite, so 11:30 p.m. until 1:30 a.m. So you just need to be in for both those shifts. If you could only make it to one, we can try to arrange something so that way, because I know that's a big jump coming from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then coming back at 11 p.m. until 1. So if you could only make it to one, we could probably make it work, and then we'll still display your art. And whatever you would need as far as compensation, you just let me know, and then I could ship that over to my HR department, and we will work on paying you whatever you need to cover, what you're doing, especially because it's such a short time frame too. So we understand.
Yeah, so that's
everybody has bills that they have to pay.
Yeah, that would be my biggest hindrance is the organization I work for. We normally need 10 days in advance before we take any time off, and this event is in less than 10 days. So I would definitely have to talk with my supervisor tomorrow to see if I could actually reserve 2 days off and to make the event. And then you're saying that for both days you would want me there twice, one for the day shift, once for the evening lunch break on both days. So I would speak 4 times.
Yes. So if you, I don't know if it's enough time for you to create an art. If you started at the 11 o'clock break and then finished it at the 1 o'clock break, that gives you a little bit more time. I know you said 30 minutes wasn't enough for you, but you could do that because the breaks will be constant. So somebody will have breaks from 11:30 to 12 to etc. So it keeps going. So you can have that whole time to create your art, and then we'll keep your art here to display after you finish it. So everyone still get to see your finished product, and then the following week we're gonna display that art.
Yeah. Once again, if you look through my art catalog from my social media, my paintings normally take me anywhere from 50 to 60 hours to complete. And as far as you guys keeping my art, normally I sell my pieces of art from anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 on average. So I'm not sure if you can actually like have any art that I would work on. I'm currently working on several pieces right now that I could work on and show exactly how I create my pieces of art. But when the art is done,
You want it back?
Yes, I would. Unless once again, unless you guys want to give me like $5,000 for a painting and you can have it that way. Other than that, I would definitely have to keep my art myself.
Okay, we can probably arrange that too, just to get it back to you. Now, we would still like to have it that week of, it's gonna be like an art exhibit kind of.
Yeah.
So if we could hold it that week of the art exhibit, and then get it back to you after that. So whatever your price is for us to like kind of rent it for those days.
Yeah, and that's like once again the thing is like I'm currently working on a piece, and I need about another 30 hours to complete this piece. So even if I worked on it all day Monday and worked on it all day Thursday, it still wouldn't be complete. It wouldn't be finished.
Okay, so the art exhibit is the following week. So the following week after we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can have you complete it by then if you have the time. That gives you a little bit more time to complete it.
I have tons of art that are pieces that are done that could be on display for an art exhibit.
Okay.
So I could definitely like work on some stuff to show people my process and the materials that I use and the brushes that I use and everything like that, and then I could have another piece to be in a completed piece that is completely finished.
Gotcha. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Okay. So, is this your cell phone?
Yes, this is my direct cell phone.
Okay, my name is Tasha, so you can text me, you can call me whenever, and I just want for you to give me your prices, so you can send it through a text message or whenever you think about it, because I want you to like really just think about like what you want out of us, so that way we can give you what you want. I don't want to put you on the spot right now and say, hey, just tell me, whatever number. But if you can't make it, then we can probably do the art exhibit instead, and just have us rent it from you, and then we'd have to get it back to you. But we would need that the same days. So we would need it for Tuesday, days and night shift, and then we need it Thursday, day and night shift, and then it'll just stay here on site. And then after the event is done, then we'll send it back to you.
Okay. I'm gonna write down these times one more time. I'm sorry. I know you've already said it twice, but so the first lunch break is from, you said 11:30 to 1 or?
Yes.
Okay. First lunch day shift is 11:30 to 1 o'clock, and the evening lunch break is from 11:30 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Yes.
Okay. 11:30 to 1 for both. And okay, so I guess that would be doable. I would have to come back. I would leave and come back 2 days. So I would have to drive to Hazleton, drive back to Hazleton, and drive back.
Yeah, unless you just want to put your stuff on display, then you can probably just ship it in. To us, so that way you're not driving like back and forth, along with any information that you want us to display about you and your business and what you do as an artist, and then we could just ship it back after.
Oh, I'm just right here in Wilkes-Barre, so you guys aren't like terribly far.
Okay, you're not too far.
No, I'm right down the road, but like I said, if I were to come there at 11 and get everything set up for 11:30 and stay there till 1, and then I could leave for the day and then come back that evening at 11 p.m. and be there for the evening lunch break. And like I said, when I come in for the first lunch break, I can just leave everything there, so I'm not constantly transporting it back and forth. But I would still, you know, I don't know Hazleton or anybody in Hazleton, so I would have like hours and hours to burn. So I would just probably come back home until that evening. So I'm just trying to figure out like transportation and all that stuff as well. So definitely, this is I think this is a really good opportunity, and I really appreciate you reaching out and contacting me to be a part of this event that you guys are setting up. So let me put together a plan tonight and figure out like what would this actually cost you guys, and then the main determining factor, like I say, is my job, because this is the first month of the year, so I don't really have any vacation time yet. So our vacation time doesn't start until next month, so I would have to actually borrow vacation time to take 2 days off of work in order to make this happen, and then borrow more vacation time to be at the actual art event itself. So I would need 3 days off at least. What day is the exhibit? You said that would be the following week, the second week of February?
Yeah, that's our projected goal. I'm gonna get with my director who is directing the whole event for the month.
Okay.
And just clarify with him. When I just looked at the calendar, it didn't specifically say, but I know we already mapped that stuff for the first week, and the exhibit wasn't on there for the first week, so I'm assuming that it's the second week.
Okay.
But I'm gonna clarify with him.
And when you say exhibit, how many other artists will be on display?
Right now it's just you.
Okay.
You're all we got so far, so it'll be about you, and then whatever. That's what I was gonna ask you, if you have any other fellow artists, any other fellow connections with, anybody that is willing to display anything. We could definitely include them in there too. And obviously their pay will be separated from your pay, but do you know anyone else that is, down to come? Maybe like if you can't make it, those days they could bring your stuff with them, and then you'd still get paid separately from them. But at least that way you're not having to worry about like your time or taking off and X, Y, and Z. So if you know anybody else.
Are you looking specifically for artists of color?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm the only one.
Okay, yes. And this time, yeah, trust me, I know. Very limited few of us, and that's why we definitely want to emphasize, us as a unity and us as a group here in Northeast PA, and we want to celebrate us for the month of February.
I really want to take advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah, we can definitely make something work. Like I don't want to overstress you or anything. I understand too, because if I had to take off for 2 days out of my work week and do a split day shift, split night shift, like that's a lot.
Yeah.
So at least if we could, I'm gonna talk to my director, see what he says about it. Maybe we could just get you to do only the morning shift. So it would still need to be 2 times out of the week, so it still need to be Tuesday and Thursday. But maybe we don't have to have you do the night shift one.
Yeah, but then night shift, you know how night shift workers are. They always feel like they're getting left out of everything anyway. So I would really want to speak to them as well.
Gotcha. Okay, I will talk to my guy here, see what he says about it. But I know you definitely, if you can't make it, we're definitely looking forward to at least being able to have your art and showcase you as an artist, regardless whether you can make it or not.
Okay. Would you guys be able to provide insurance for the art pieces while they're on your property?
I'd have to talk to HR about that.
Okay. I see, because if they're just going to be in a community break room or lunchroom where anybody could trip, fall, or spill or waste anything on the canvases, that would be very, very bad.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. We might have to draw up some type of contract and stuff to say, if anything happens to your pieces, and we'd have to pay the full value for it, of course.
Yeah.
And this is like, obviously, Amazon's like a legit company, so whatever we have to do to cover whatever we need to, we will definitely take ownership of that. We're really big on that, and we're really big on like respect. So a lot of our associates, like, they understand that we are constantly having events here. Like, literally every week we have an event, and a lot of the DJs leave their equipment here and their stuff here because same thing like you said, it doesn't make sense to drag it home and then come back.
Yeah.
So associates are pretty aware of, like, these are things that you cannot touch, you can't be near. We'll put a border around it so everyone knows, like, can't step in this zone. So I'm not saying anything will happen. I can't promise anything, of course, but it's very unlikely that anything will happen to your art.
Okay. Well, like I said, you've given me a lot to think about, and I appreciate that. And you will hear from me tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. And if anything, you can also text me if you forget. I know we covered a lot in such a short time. You can definitely text me. This is my cell phone. And then we can go over whatever again. As soon as I hang up with you, I'm going to go talk to the director to get more clarification on everything.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good, Travis. I hope to hear from you.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. I don't gotta ask for shows no more. I just wait. Somebody, I said that shit just earlier. All I gotta do is wait.
You said it to me, not
Something.
somebody.
Yeah. And something gonna come through.
Honestly,
I gotta take advantage of this shit.
That's a unique opportunity.
It really is, yo.
It's pretty cool because my job don't do shit like that.
Yo.
I've never had a job that does shit like that. But you didn't consider. I know.
This is the thing. Grayson doesn't produce original art, and I've gotten this dude ever since I met him. I was like, yo, like.
But can he go do some little cartoon art for a couple of hours, like what Eric does? Right?
I gotta make sure I can go first.
Of course.
If I can't go,
of course, baby. Don't be crazy now. You're Travis Prince. I'm just saying.
If I can't go, you can't go.
Right. It's your shit. You're in charge.
I ain't gonna do that. If I can't go, he still can go. I still let him know about that shit.
Nah, you just go during the day or don't go during the night. And if you need help, you know I have like a week of time that I can use to like flex time that I can take off. So if you need help, I can always help you.
Hey, Jane. How are you doing? Are you? Not much. Are you home yet? Yeah. Okay. I may need a really, really big favor. I just got a call from some executive at Amazon in Hazleton, and they're looking to do a Black History Month art show, and they contacted me and want me to present some art over at their community room to like some of their executives. Yeah, but it's during the week, and they want me to come 2 days, the 1st and the 3rd, which is a Tuesday and a Thursday or something like that. So I know I don't even have. First of all, it's short notice, and we don't have any accrual hours yet. I definitely would. Okay, okay. I'll talk to you some more tomorrow. Okay. All right. I appreciate it. You do the same. She's like, nah, don't miss no opportunity like that.
Yeah.
She's like, can you do something at night to make up work? But then I gotta tell her too, it's just like, fuck, yo. You know what? I'll go there and then come back to the office. I'll just have a long ass fucking day, yo, for 2 days. If I miss like the first, cause it's at 1. It ends at 1. If I leave Hazleton at 1, but then that's like a fucking hour and 10-minute drive from Hazleton to Scranton. Damn, I be putting so many miles and burning up so much fucking gas, yo.
You can use my car whenever.
But
That's why I
then
said if you need me, I can use some of my time too, or you can just switch cars.
if I
Especially if you
leave
gotta
Hazleton,
if you gotta transport art, you gonna need to take my car anyway.
and if I leave Hazleton at 1 and try to get back to Scranton, all that traffic, I ain't gonna get to Scranton till like 2 something.
And then be in the office for what? Doing what? At that time.
Something just to say I'm there. And then stay in the office until what, 4 or 5, and just get a couple of hours in, and then come back home and get some rest, and then leave here at 10 something at night to get back over there by 11:30.
So you're gonna
And
be
then be
tired.
over
And
there
guess
till
what?
1 o'clock in the morning, then
And
still have to go to work the next
that's why I said
morning.
you're gonna be tired. That's why I said either take me with you so I can help you drive, or get him to go with you and then he can help you drive too, or either or. But take somebody with you. If you don't want to call him, I can use my time, or I'll be off. You do the first one by yourself, and then for the one at nighttime, I can drive you there and drive you home.
And see, Grayson can do this shit because he don't got nowhere to do a job.
That's what I'm saying. He could drive with you.
I need to just quit my job and try to be an artist. I don't make enough. I got so much.
I feel like I was gonna say we got like another year, but I feel like another year just grinding, we can both move. I think that's another thing, moving too. Imagine going down south, but you still selling art up here, getting that up north money, but you down south. That's how I feel about baking. Like, yo, if I was back home right now, I would easily be making a killing. But because I don't really know anybody here, I gotta like work my way in. But yeah, I'm hella proud of you. That's dope as shit. That's a very unique opportunity. And she sounds nice. And she gonna pay. Now he can't never say you ain't calling.
Yo. Shit, what you doing? Oh, damn. You got a minute to talk? So I got a message from like some upper management over at fucking Amazon in Hazleton. Uh, Saying that they're trying to put on an exhibit for Black History Month, and they want some artists to come out there and show art, or maybe even work on art for their employees and shit, yo. And she said you can set your own price, and if they can agree to it, then it is what it is. But it's so what they want to do is on their lunch breaks. Um, I think one day is it's a Tuesday and a Thursday. Their day shift lunch break is 11:30 to 1. And during their lunch break, they want artists out there like showing off their stuff and talking about their art and shit. And then their evening, their night shift lunch break is 11:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. and they would want the artists out there for both day shift and night shift lunch breaks for 2 days out the week, just showing off your art. And then that following week, one day throughout that week, have like an art exhibit where more. I don't know. She really didn't explain the art exhibit part, but just like having our art on display or something like that. And so just trying to pass it along, bro. If you can, I'm gonna get more information tomorrow. Like she just really hit me with like some really rough shit today, but and then it's like I'm the only artist they contacted so far, and she's asking me to pull more artists in, but they want artists of color, and once again, they ain't but us, bro. Ain't no more artists of color around here doing like good shit like that. So it's the third and the fifth.
No, the first and the third.
The first and the no, it's the first. It's the first and the third. My bad. The first and the third. Bro, I done told you this a year ago, man. I know, like you make that money, bro. I know you get that money selling your shit, but you gotta paint for yourself sometimes, man. More than you do. I don't know. And see, I ain't never been in your studio. I don't know what you working on, but you gotta paint for yourself more for shit like this. And that's it. And that's what she said. She was like, "Oh, you can come in and like create a piece of art, and then they'll buy it from you right there." And I'm like, yo, my style isn't like that. It takes me 50 to 80 hours to do it. And then she still kept saying, "Well, if you work on it this day and work on it the second day, and then at the exhibit we can buy it." I'm I'm like, yo, it's not. I ain't gonna have a painting done in a week for you and done and dry, and then I told her too, like my personal art, my shit go for like 5, 6 grand on the low end. Y'all gonna pay that? She's like, well, let me just talk to my director and see, if it's in the budget, if we can buy the piece of art from you. I'm like, all right, but and then she's like, she didn't say, oh, and we'll pay you X amount of dollars. She's like, tell us what you want. Tell us what you want to make this happen. To get your art down here and for you to talk to our, she kept saying associates, she didn't say employees or anything. And for you to talk to our associates and just display your art, and we just trying to, give you some exposure, and you name your price. And, I, I think it got to be the warehouse, because she's talking about day shift and night shift lunch breaks.
It's the way.
And
She
then
said
I
it's the
told her too. I was
frequency.
like, yo, and she want me to keep my art out there at Amazon in y'all break room. I'm like, yo, y'all got insurance to cover my shit, yo? Cause if a motherfucker gets some grape jelly or some coffee or anything on my shit, yo, that y'all buying that. Y'all buying that. If anything, if a motherfucker touch my shit and get a smudge, a fingerprint smudge on that shit, you done bought that. Cause that's my only apprehension about my art. That's why I don't really show my art a lot of places. People like, oh, come to this craft show or this place. Like, I don't never hardly show my shit outside. And like certain places, I just don't put my shit because I already know, like, motherfuckers, like some bars and stuff. All it takes is one drunk dude to wave his hand real fast and he splashed some beer or some shit on my shit, and I'm mad. Like, nah. So, and this right here is just like, it seems like one of those situations where like I'm really kind of iffy about my art just being around. How many people work at Amazon on the average shift? Y'all probably got 50 people in there at one time, walk around, all kinds of like. So when she said, I said, well, my shit being insured while it's in your care on your property, just let me talk to my director and see what they say. But she was like, this Amazon, so we got money, so I'm pretty sure if like anything were to happen to it, we know we would have to pay full price for the piece. So, I mean, she sound totally legit. I'ma fuck that. I'ma sabotage that shit myself. Poke a hole in it. Be like, yo, who the fuck did this?
You want Karen?
Yo, I go home. I go home and make it again. Yeah, you go home and make that shit again. That's it every time. Yeah, y'all can have that one. Y'all good. But down, that's just putting it out there, man. If you can make these dates, like I said, first of all, I gotta just see if I can get off work, cause this shit is, I don't know, it's weird, bro. Like during the day, like I told her I got a fucking job. I'm not a career artist, I gotta go to work. And then you want me to be there at, even if I take that day off and I go there for the evening shift from 11:30 to 1 o'clock in the morning, I still gotta get up and go to work that same day, like. So, but I want to. Hmm? In the afternoon. Yeah. Well, the first is it's a day shift and a night shift. So the day shift they break is 11:30 to 1 in the afternoon, and then night shift, when the night shift come in, they get a lunch break at 11:30 at night, and then till 1 o'clock in the morning. No doubt.
I'm supposed to drop it off though now. I was about to sell that shit
Damn.
and then fucking recreate it. Nah, but it's already sold, so I gotta sell that. And then yeah, I could try to come up with that's real short notice though.
That's
like,
what I'm saying, yo. Like
high end quality shit. You know, it's
that's
like it takes a long time.
and that's what she don't. People don't get that shit, yo. People don't create art. Who don't create art don't get that shit, yo. And like I didn't even see her message all day. She hit me up like 10:30 this morning, and I just checked my messages when I got home from work. And you want me to have some? You want me to put this shit together?
You know why they don't get it? Because yo, you ever seen that dude? People tag me in his shit all the time. The dude, the dark skinned black dude, who's like he don't speak. He just like act all weird and shit.
Yeah, then have the paint with the girl like, hair or some shit.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, stop tagging me in this dude's shit. Like he's a showman. He doing that shit for y'all. I'm like the art. I'm like, don't get me wrong. Like he probably could throw together like a dope ass painting, but it's like if you was to just see the painting without seeing that cool process, then you know just be alright painting.
That's it.
I'm like, it's just alright. He just did a silhouette real quick, like to like appease it. I'm like, as far as like being next to like Travis artwork or my artwork or something, that shit took like 20, 30, 40, 50 hours. It's not gonna hold up. Like, I'm like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he can't spend that time to do something.
Yeah, and I get it. Like his little creative process is dope, but like you say, it's all showmanship. This nigga paint with his hair and shit, and you only using.
And think that we all doing that shit.
Nah. And he only using one color of paint. Like it's all good. Like. But.
Yeah, so.
But if you down, if you feel like if you can put something together, man. Like I said, it's just an opportunity. Like I said, get our name out there, get a little bread in the pocket.
So, I know I'm gonna plug you in. I don't know if you're friends with these artists that I know, but I probably know maybe two or three artists who of color or whatever. Who I could probably put you in. One of them live in Hazleton, so that works out.
Nice.
Yeah. One dude, don't forget that guy that you know. I forgot his name, but he's pretty good. I forgot his name. I just seen his shit too. He posted like a drawing he did with like some multicolored face.
Oh yeah. Javon.
Yeah, that was coming out good.
Yeah, Javon. I be forgetting about him sometimes.
Yeah. Yo, what's the name of that artist you told me about a long time ago? That realism artist.
That Italian dude.
It's like Javier or something.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. Yep.
What is it?
Javier.
Javier?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, that motherfucker the truth, yo.
Yeah, he's the truth. All right, let me get back to this though.
All right, well I'll keep you posted tomorrow.
Studying this ink process.
All right, bro.
All right, no doubt,
bro. Like you said, he don't got shit.
Javon, I didn't think about Javon.
Javon got a bunch of art on him.
And he loved to talk to people too.
But he a bus driver. He drives city buses.
He might be able to do the night shift.
Yeah. Rose.
She don't have no art, does she? She has art?
You didn't see, she came on the show. She brought like a couple of pieces on the show. Our episode ain't got edited yet.
And Rose worked during the day too with the kids. She don't be getting off until like 7 o'clock.
That's what I'm saying. This is a weird situation, man.
And she's like, I messaged 1,000 people. Yeah, because you know y'all tripping.
That's crazy. But then, check this out though. Cause this gonna be my first time right here. You really mean this shit, yo? Do you really mean this? All right. So now this is our new director. So read these. Now, if she really mean that shit, then I should be able to slide with this shit. Then. Right? That's what you saying, right? Uh, this right here about to be the first proving ground. Keep going.
I heard it.
All of it, all the way down.
Peace.
Now let me see. See how real you is. This is the first opportunity I got. You want to
She
support?
said peace, so I'm gonna say she cool as shit. Cause
She
I ain't
seems
never
real
had a
cool,
boss
man.
that's just like peace, peace and love.
She seems really cool. And then she, I don't know, she gave me a little compliment today. Just the dude, the intern, was that we sat down and ate lunch together. That's when we was talking about music, and he asked me like different things about the organization. He was like, "Dude, is there a lot of openings here?" I'm like, dude, not not really, because people love their jobs here. Like nobody really leaves here. And I said two of our coworkers just celebrated 25 years here. And I said when people do leave, it's rare, but it's because they have a better opportunity to better themselves in a different field or something like that. And then when people move on and grow, and then we have spots open,
We can
and
help
then we
somebody else
then
grow.
we try to fill those spots. But I'm like, on top of that, it's like we have like a culture here where it's almost like a family. So like there's a certain personality is in everybody here. Like we all get along, yo. And I like you see, it's like a bunch of moms. That's
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a real like cool ass place. So the positions don't come open very often, and on top of that, we really try to look for like the right person to fit in with us. Yo, what up? What up? And then I just explained that. Then lunch was over. Then he left, and then I was about to leave out the cafeteria, and Lori and someone else was in there. She said, "Excuse me, Travis. I just love how you talk about the organization. How you just explained things to me just now. That was just like one of the best things I've ever heard." I was just being honest and shit. And now you have to flex my schedule or do something, do some real wiggly willy nilly, so I can make this shit happen, yo. And then like, oh, we want you to do another show or something, and it's like, I got Black Scratch, got flag raising coming up soon, so if that's I can't conflict with too much stuff. Amora just sent me.
I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause. He's obviously made up his mind. What a
Amara sent you
just cut our losses and get out of here. Look, Pip, I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause.
that?
He's obviously made up his mind. Why don't we just cut our losses and get out of here?
She got a dog. Yeah, she got a dog.
Oh no, that's somebody else.
He takes my pillow as soon as I'm.
Mitch something. Did that just repeat?
I thought you said it was Amara.
She sent me the link, but she must have sent it from someone else's
somebody
page.
else's page.
Yeah, and then that next reel was just someone
I was
else.
about to say, you got big ass dogs, and then you went and got that little ass dog. The fuck? Look at this question on this game.
Oh, this the dude right here. Cyrus.
Yo. Word?
That's the intern. He got a cool ass name, yo.
Cyrus Kizzer.
Fucking tall as shit too. He's
Ooh,
like 6.
what's a Pokemon game?
Pokemon Gold.
Huh? Pokemon Gold?
Mm-hmm.
Gold or gold?
Gold. They had different colors: gold, silver.
Well, they put go and I didn't get it, but it's okay because I'm whooping his ass. I won. But yeah, that dude got long hair.
Mm-hmm.
You told him your little saying, your dad joke.
Like, I don't trust me with long hair.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfuckers look at me like long hair too. Exactly.
The dude at the liquor store the one time, he was like, never trust a dude with long hair. And he chuckled and then he looked at you and he stopped and was like, hey, took you long enough, nigga.
Y'all motherfuckers with that long hair, man. Y'all be suspect.
Yeah, y'all do. I'm crazy. Look at, what's his name? Rick James.
James said we'll talk first thing in the morning.
She said, I'm off. Okay. Shit, what time is it?
Damn, I have a show at Amazon?
That's random.
Yeah, where your next
Where
exhibit
you
at?
show your art? The such and such museum. How about you? Amazon.
Where's
Amazon.
Arizona? No.
No, Amazon. Like Jeff.
Yeah.
Amazon.
Like
Bezos?
the order? Like where you buy shit
The
from?
warehouse.
Yeah.
The fulfillment center.
I didn't show it to the employees. I showed it to the associates.
At the fulfillment center, not the employees at the warehouse.
Yeah.
The associates at the fulfillment center. Sounds so much better.
Crazy. Never thought that would happen. Like I said, she talking about name your price. Let me talk to my job real quick. Put these numbers together, bitch. About to get this money.
That's gonna come up to approximately $500,000.
I'm trying to get at least 1,200. Let me see. I got. I'm definitely factoring in all the gas. I'm not paying for my gas, yo. So that's. I gotta go there 4 times.
She's gonna be like, oh, I thought we could give you $250.
Yeah, I gotta go there 4 times. That's $100 to start with right there, just gas. I gotta go there and come back. And go there and come back. No, I gotta do that 8 times because that's 4 times in one day. So I gotta do that 8 times. That's $200 in gas. And then if I'm there from 11:30, 12:30 to 1, it's 2.5 hours. So I'm in there for 6 hours. I need $60 an hour.
That's 360. Times 2 is 720. Right?
Okay, 720 plus the 200 in gas.
That's 920.
That's 920. Damn, how can I get up to 12?
You need an extra what? 280? Yeah, you need 280. Well, that girl can do quick math. Y'all see that?
Then, damn, I might need to order some prints, but I doubt if anybody would like buy my prints for like $40.
You could do a giveaway in that price, so it seems like you're giving them something. Give away 2 prints. But that's not really fair though, because you got the 4 different shifts. You have to give away 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's on you, but you just be like, oh, 1,300, and I'll give away 4 prints. And your time for the day that you gotta go for the exhibit. So that's where the extra money come in.
Yeah. That's more gas for that trip there and back again.
Right.
And then depending and then on top of that, like you gotta pay me just because I'm taking time off work too.
Right. So the extra 280 comes in, the $80 for gas, and then the 200 for the time that I gotta miss off work, or say 280 for the time, 300 for the time I gotta miss off work, whatever. They don't know how much money you make, so you can tell them anything. 500 for the time I gotta miss off work. They don't know. But also, I don't think you should try to gouge them.
No.
But you also should be fair to yourself.
But then at the same time, it ain't your money, nigga. That Bezos got that shit, nigga.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Amazon got that bread.
They could come up off it.
Yeah. So y'all gonna put on a Black History event, and y'all want to spend what, less than $1,000 for an event for your whole
right, and
company?
Then they want you to help bring in other people, so it's just like. And other artists have to negotiate their prices. So if they say half of that, then y'all can come up on a deal. And I think that's what they're trying to do too. Like, they don't want to say anything because then somebody might want to get less, and they'll be like, "All right, shit." Because I know damn well if I was like, "Look, we're gonna give them $1,000," and somebody was like, "Oh, I'll do it for 600.
Yeah.
So
well, got him.
to the man in the front.
Got him. We had $1,000 budget.
You know what? I got a complimentary water bottle for you when you get here, and a t-shirt.
And a
Come
t-shirt.
on, bro, let's go. Right? While we go to the same time.
Get this t-shirt too, nigga. Here you go. All right. You just saved the company $400.
$400 in a pocket.
Yeah, you call the number.
Pizza on you on Friday, okay?
You call the number first. No. What's your budget? Oh, I need the whole budget then.
That's one thing that I do love about you is you know your worth. Like, you're not gonna let nobody sell you short at all on nothing. What's in it for me? What do I get?
Cause I don't know you from a can of paint. You Amazon, you gotta be upper management or something to be pulling these kind of moves right here. So you found me. So shit, I already know. And I'm the only one that contact you back too. Like, come on now. Make it work. Yeah, make it worth my while, yo.
Two other people.
You have to make that shit worth my while. And I would hate to miss an opportunity like this, but at the same time, I can't do that shit for free. And then
she said, whatever. Yeah. Whatever you need.
My job, damn, that shit gonna look like I get some real special privileges at work, yo. Where's Travis at this week? Oh, he has art stuff to do. But then at the same time, I'll just burn up some time I don't have yet. That'd be like the worst outcome is like, okay, well, we'll take your fucking vacation from February then.
Right, it's not like you're not gonna get it done.
Yeah, I do get hella time off.
Exactly. That's why I wouldn't even worry about it because it's not worth trying to go into work on those days. And it wouldn't be bad if it was just right there and you didn't have to go there and back and there and back. But, you know what I mean? I just think it's too much to have to drive over there, then drive back to Hazleton, then drive back to Strand, then drive back over here, then drive back to Hazleton, then drive back over here. And like I said, if Grayson doesn't go, then I can definitely at least help you drive in the nighttime so you're not totally shot for the next day. But, even with me helping you drive, still.
That shit is a lot.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I can help you drive, but it's still a lot. You gotta get your bread, and you're still gonna be tired regardless.
Your pieces cost how much? Did you really look at my art, or you just found Travis Prince artist or some shit?
Yeah, because if y'all gonna pay me $5,000 for my shit, yeah. So she was like, I hit up a bunch of artists, but I hit you back though. She was like, you who? Huh? Yeah. Oh.
You're an artist, right? Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I just said my name.
Parents with ADHD save 10 hours.
Of sweet potato by washing them in the sea. A skill is soon taught.
This is a real B&H customer story.
Okay, we checked all four systems and keep with it.
B&H, we help folks find the products they need. Is that right, Irving?
Yes, definitely. We need to be ready for whatever the customer needs, especially when the items are rare.
So true. Could you give us an example, Irving?
We help millions of customers all over the world.
Come on, just one example.
Well, there was NASA.
NASA?
NASA. What's the big deal? We have for everyone, big and small.
So what did NASA need?
A unique Hasselblad lens for a space mission. I guess no one else had it, but we did. What we often have what others don't.
Love it. What else can you tell us about this story?
That is the story.
Copy that, Irving. And thank you for sharing. For all your needs, big or small, check out bnh.com.
Can I go back to work now?
Post, they send you a cool box every month.
Wow. This is good, awesome.
And this thing is jam-packed. Look at this thing.
It's got silk straps on the top, which is cool.
256-layer Damascus steel knife.
This thing is awesome, guys.
Absolutely razor sharp. They scour the globe, they find one of the radar brands, stuff that makes you go,
All hobbies that I'm into. Whiskey, tech, EDC.
You guys can tell them what you want, and they will tailor a box for you. You guys can swap out the box if you don't like them.
The value of every box is at least around $70, if not more.
It's like you're giving yourself a gift every single month. So let the smoke post do it for you.
I'm telling you, you guys need to check this out. This is pretty awesome.
So you want chicken again?
Fried chicken.
I'll make you some fried chicken.
The other primates there. By the time 100 of the animals learned to wash their food, something extraordinary happened. Practice spread to monkeys on another island called Takasakiyama. Allison asked, how? Did one of the monkeys swim there to the other primates and teach them? Ming explains no, it's called morphic resonance, the socio-biological interconnectedness of species. The spontaneous transmission of data at a genetic level explains a sudden massive leap forward in science and technology and evolution. It means our genes are receivers capable of transmitting and obtaining information through the unseen frequency that unites all life on the planet, like the invisible bond that holds atoms of a molecule together. It means that homework is easier to do in the evening.
Oh yeah,
because
the
your
Samurai
fellow
Rider,
pupils
yeah.
will have already raised their collective
I kept playing around with the idea of painting her, but
consciousness.
I just rather do my
Come to think of
own.
it as
It kind of
instinct.
seems cliche.
Allison, hearing this theory, says,
But all you gotta do is tag her, and if you share your art, that's a million motherfuckers will see that
You're
shit.
correct. Ming's story is most likely a myth. Scientists have studied the monkeys of which she speaks, but I highly doubt their traits were remotely passed to other animals. Her dad and Ming argue a bit, and then Allison's dad takes Allison away. So some
And
of
now
the
he's
science,
taking
this
my
theory of
advice too.
morphic
Like,
resonance,
you guys need to
is
make
going
more
to
art
tie
for
into
yourselves,
later
man.
with the plague and how that plague got
Motherfuckers be playing
transmitted
around
across the globe.
And don't have nothing
Back
for
in the
shows.
current day, though, in China,
They're just like
355
production
endured
artists,
chocolate
which is
growth
cool. Like,
in
I
the
get it,
delirious
because
sick
every piece of art you
Allison.
make, you sell.
Allison
Like, that's what
manages to
production
explain
artists
to
do.
them
Like,
all about Ming and the BioS Institute.
I'm missing a
Genes
lot of
are
shit. But yeah, I just can't be a production artist. I don't mind making a shit for people, but definitely still want to make my own shit though.
Yeah, you know your work and you get it done. I get it. It ain't just enough to be talented, that's for sure.
No. Gotta grind all day and grind all night.
Thing is, like, the thing you learn with age. Like I said, I've always been talented and passionate, but now that the older I get, I'm just like, I just want to work for myself and do my own thing. So the only thing I can do right now is perfect what I'm trying to do until I'm the best at that shit. Even though I'm not like you, I can't just hang my shit on the wall. I gotta throw my shit in the trash afterwards. But I be making it just to waste it. But hey, it's gonna be worth it. Shaman said, I'm about to hop on a video game. Keep it cool.
Yo, what you playing, bro? I ain't played the game in a couple days.
He said one, so he hopping on.
He out.
Video game time.
Well, if you work on it all day, this day and that day, like, yo, look, sis, you don't get it, yo.
Right. I don't want to do that anyway.
Yeah. I'm not about to finish a painting that fast, yo. And then...
He said time playing
some. What? Ghost Recon?
I had the feeling. I'm about to hit my job up and be like, what y'all doing for Black History Month? Get you 2 checks.
How y'all celebrate this shit, man?
Right. Y'all want to buy some black baked goods and some black art? I know some hairstylists.
I'm sure we got that money too.
Okay.
No, y'all got that bread.
No, they do. First thing you do when you walk in, they got all the flags up. Jamaica, Brazil, America, whatever. I'm rolling up the new one, Extraction. I think it's cold. Extraction?
Rainbow Six? Damn, I ain't got that shit.
Do you want me to come get you when it gets close to time, or are you just gonna work till he hit you up?
Time for what?
When dude pulls up.
Oh yeah, you should text me.
I'm really sure you're going to the sauce a little bit. Cause it's almost like, yeah, you only got like 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, I'm off to work on my shit. I was about to say, let me go let the dog out. I forgot.
Capable of transmitting and obtaining information through the unseen frequency that unites all life on the planet, like the invisible bond that holds atoms of a molecule together. It means that homework is easier to do in the evening because your fellow pupils will have already raised their collective consciousness because they have done it. We've come to think of it as instinct. Allison, hearing this theory, says, "That's stupid." Allison's dad agrees with Allison and says, "You're correct. Ming's story is most likely a myth. Scientists have studied the monkeys of which she speaks, but I highly doubt their traits were remotely passed to other animals." Her dad and Ming argue a bit, and then Allison's dad takes Allison away. So some of this science, this theory of morphic resonance, is going to tie into later with the plague and how that plague got transmitted across the globe. Back to the current day, though, in China, 355 and York talk with Rose and a delirious, sick Allison. Allison manages to explain to them all about Ming and the Bioethics Institute, and they decide it is best to push forward to go to this Ming woman and see if she can help Allison. We jump to a battleship in the Atlantic Ocean. Alter and her crew have stolen it and are trying to intercept the boat with York's sister and the children on board. One of Alter's subordinates, a woman named Eliana, she walks in and questions Alter and how truthful Alter is being. Eliana, she claims that this photo that Alter showed the Hartle twins at the end of last volume, Alter has also been showing that photo to various women as a recruitment tool, and that photo, it shows all these various other armies fighting over the last man in Sydney. Well, Eliana claims that this photo was doctored. It's not real. And Alter, she defends herself by yelling at Eliana. And Eliana says, "With all due respect, ma'am, most of the girls didn't join your mission to chase a man. They did it to bring peace to Alter." She then begins choking this Eliana and says to her, You think I'm Ahab, eh? Hunting down some meaningless trophy? I'm not looking for a goddamn fish. I'm trying to secure the only leverage Israel has in the world that would rather see us wiped off the map. How dare you walk into this room with your self-righteous insinuations? I didn't tolerate that from Sadie, and she was the only friend I had in this piece of shit world. You remember Sadie, don't you? The woman you executed? And Eliana replies through the choking done on her. I was following your orders, Alter. So we learn here that Alter ordered Sadie to be killed, and she was killed off panel. Alter asks this woman, now, if you were just a stormtrooper following orders, you wouldn't have come to me like this. Why did you agree to go down an unarmed judge? She's referencing when the judge sentenced her, and Alter asked them to kill that judge and free her. Eliana explains that you were a hero after the plague. You helped secure Israel's borders. But once the military was done with you, they locked you up. And Eliana and her allies felt that was wrong, so they freed Alter. And Alter tells her, do you think I'm insane? Eliana says, no, you're not insane. Alter lets her go and tells her, why the hell am I letting you live? Go on, off to your bunk. Put this back in your little scrapbook until you're ready to fill my boots. Giving her that picture that Eliana said was doctored. Go there until you're ready to do whatever it takes to drag girls to war. Alter is definitely a little unhinged. Alter now alone. She points a gun to her head, contemplating ending it, but then she puts the gun aside and says, sorry, Sadie, not today. We jump back over to York and his crew. 355 has hijacked an ambulance, and they are speeding as fast as they can, trying to get Allison to help. 355 is heading to Hong Kong to the place that Allison mentioned. They arrive at their destination and head outside, and then when they are outside of the ambulance, York gets shot in the neck with a dart, and that knocks him out. 355 and Rose also get shot with darts. And then, who shot them with these darts? Toyota. Toyota walks over to them, and she can't believe her luck. She says, Dr. M is going to love this. Allison wakes up. Her mother is caring for her and asking her, Ayuko, can you hear me? Ayuko is Allison's name in Japanese. Her mom in Japanese explains that her friends are okay. York, he's tied up right here. We brought him in for observation. York, he's freaking out, wondering what is going on and what everyone is saying around them because they're all speaking in Japanese. Allison's mom explains that Allison is recovering from surgery. Allison's mom had to remove Allison's uterus. She did what she could to preserve as much sexual response as possible, but Allison will no longer be able to carry children. Allison's mom explains that Allison's symptoms were identical to Dr. Ming's. Apparently, genetically engineered fetuses contribute to the development of tumors within the womb. Thankfully, you're younger and stronger than Ming was when she made her mistake. That prideful bitch was nearly 50 when she was impregnated. And Allison asks, Ming brought a human clone to term? Allison's mom explained that the reason Toyota brought her here was to save Ming's life, because Ming developed complications much like Allison, bleeding from between her legs. But Ming, she was far too gone, and she died shortly before Allison's mom arrived. Allison asks, but if Ming is dead, then who the hell is that ninja whore working for? So if Ming is dead, who is Dr. M? Who is this Dr. M that has been working with Toyota this whole time? A voice says, hello, Ayo. It's good to see you again. And in walks Allison's dad, still alive. He is the mysterious Dr. M. York, seeing him, says, oh man, not another fucking robot. Allison's dad, Thomas, begins by apologizing for everything. Allison's mom asks Thomas not to tell her everything at once. She'll have a, Thomas says, interrupting his wife, I'll speak to our daughter as I please. Alice asks how he is still alive. And Thomas explains the same way that Mr. Brown is, although this isn't about him or his animal, but the people responsible for the play, namely me and my offspring. Allison asks, what offspring? Me or the clones of yourself you shoved in Ming's belly? Allison's dad says, who said I ever tried to clone myself? Thomas, speaking through a curtain, says, Ayuko-ni, come here please. There's someone I'd like you to meet. In walks a little 4-year-old clone of Allison, and Allison asks, Jesus Christ, is she? Thomas answers, you at 4 years old? Yes. You are exactly this beautiful at her age. From early on, I knew I had failed you as a father, Ayuko. I failed you as a man, but I never stopped trying. We see Thomas has about 8 Allison clones in view.
People think unusual circumstances means complicated taxes. But for a TurboTax Live expert like me, it just makes things interesting. So?
Issue 51, Motherland, Part 3. This issue opens up 15 years ago in Yokohama, Japan. A young Toyota is 15 years old. She is trying to steal stuff in Dr. Thomas Matsumori's lab. Thomas was able to apprehend her, put her in some sort of arm lock. Thomas asks her, what is she doing in his laboratory? Toyota explains that she was just looking for downers and shit, some drugs. Thomas asks her where her parents are, and Toyota explains that they died in a tsunami in 1983. Thomas asks her, do you know who Tomo Gozen is? Toyota does not. Thomas explains that she was a female samurai in the time of the Genpei War. She was a loyal attendant to a general named Yoshinaka. Tomo Gozen mastered archery and kenjutsu so that she could accompany her master into battle. And then Thomas asks Toyota, how would you like to study these same skills? And Toyota says, I'm not big into the whole classroom thing, thanks. But Thomas explains, this is no ordinary school. I learned of it from my assistant. It's a program that will teach you how to defend your life and the life of your employer. And Toyota questions, I'm 15 years old. Who's going to employ me? And Thomas explains, I will. My work has already forced me out of one country, and Japan will not welcome me much longer. One day soon, I will require a competent security agent to escort me past those men and women small-minded enough to view my research as dangerous. Toyota, hearing his pitch, says, yeah, sure, I'll be your bitch for 1 million yen. And that is how she became Dr. M's personal ninja. Back to the current day. Toyota has 355 and Rose strung up and suspended by their arms on one of the upper floors of this building. Toyota explains that she trained with an organization called the Perfect Circle. It was founded back in 1940 in Japan as a countermeasure to 355's secret club, the Cobra Ring. Toyota only spent a few years at their lame dojo before she sold out and went corporate. Toyota is toying with them and deciding which one of them she is going to slice up first. Back over to Allison. She tells her dad, this is bullshit. Her dad tells her to watch her language. These clones may share your identical nature, but your sisters still need our nurture. Thomas tells his wife to take this little one back to the nursery with the others. As Allison's mom heads out, she tells Allison, I thought it was Ming who put all this into motion. I had no idea your father was even still alive. He is in the room while all this conversation is going on, but they're all speaking in Japanese. So Yorick is frustrated, and he has no idea what's going on. He starts yelling that if he's not let go soon, he will bust out of these restraints and kick your mustachioed ass, he says, talking to Thomas. But then Yorick mutters to himself, right after I find my stupid pen, which Yorick needs to escape from the restraints he is in. Back on the high floor, Toyota is still taunting 355 and Rose. Take note that 355 appears to have the pen that Yorick was looking for. Rose spits in Toyota's eye. Toyota wipes off the spit and says, I cannot wait to feed you your one good eye. 355, who has been playing with her handcuffs this entire time, finally manages to get out of them. 355 then tells Toyota, I am so goddamn tired of killing people. Toyota tells her, hey, looks like somebody learned a few tricks from Magic Fag, referring to York, which, that's funny, Magic Fag. Toyota says, did the white boy also teach you how to take down a younger, sexier opponent? The only hardware I see you packing is those saggy tits. And 355 replies, yeah, well, it's everyone's worst enemy, gravity. 355 then begins charging towards Toyota and she tackles her off of the building through the glass window up there. Back over to Thomas, Allison, and York. Allison asks, what the hell was that? They are hearing the noise of the fighting going on with Toyota and 355. Thomas says, I'm sure Toyota will look into it. And Allison asks, so that bitch works for you? And Thomas explained that he knew Allison's mother would be suspicious of him taking another young female into his employ, so he subcontracted Toyota to the late Dr. Ming. York, his mind is going to concern for Ampersand, and he asks, who gives a shit who's signing her checks, referring to Toyota? I'm not going to lose my monkey to that sociopath again. Thomas explains that Ampersand is actually his monkey. He raised that animal from birth. Thomas then explains his whole history of cloning research. He says, Japan criminalized human cloning in the year 2000, so he was forced to leave his wife and move here to China where the laws are less defined. With funding from Dr. Ming's Institute, he began working to create the first viable human clone from samples of Allison's genetic material he took years prior. He dreamed of having a second chance to raise her honorably. Despite her older age, Ming offered to carry the clone he designed to term. There were younger candidates he could have potentially chose, candidates that they would end up impregnating with later models of Allison's cloned embryos. But at the time, discretion took precedence over vigor. During his research, he discovered a unique chemical compound that seemed to have adverse effects on the genomes of cloned mammals, and when he received word that Allison was racing to complete her own genetic clone, he knew he had to sabotage her work. Allison asks her dad, you started your project to honor me, but as soon as you found out I was your competition, you decided to murder my baby? Thomas says it was his own shameful pride that led him to do that. He began looking for methods to halt his daughter's impressive progress, methods that even a mind such as hers would not be able to trace back to him. Thomas knew that Allison relied on Capuchin monkeys for her research, so he injected one with his formula and had it shipped to the lab where she recruited her samples from. It was his hope that the monkey would act as a vector, like the cats that transfer toxoplasmosis to pregnant women. But somehow the monkey that he sent to Allison ended up being lost in shipping and was somehow sent to Mr. Brown. Allison asks if Ampersand didn't end up with her until after she lost her child, then how did her child die? And what does any of this have to do with whatever caused the plague? To this, Thomas says, it's as both science and of the Buddha teach. Everything is one. Back to Toyota and 355. They are now on the rooftop, and both of them are armed with the Japanese pole weapon known as a naginata. They fight on the rooftop, countering each other's blows with the weapon. Eventually, after some back and forth, Toyota manages to knock 355's weapon out of her hands and down to the street below. Back over to Thomas. He explains that Toyota was his fail-safe plan. When his first plan appeared unsuccessful to stop Allison's pregnancy, he sent Toyota to America to handle this in a more conventional manner personally. See, Dr. Ming was days away from giving birth, and though Allison was weeks behind their efforts, he couldn't risk Allison reaching even premature delivery before they did. So he had Toyota lace one of Allison's meals with something that would give her an abortion and terminate her pregnancy. And that is why Allison had the miscarriage and lost the baby. Thomas says that hours later, Ming's contractions began in this very room. Labor-wise, it was surprisingly easy. What came next was not. The second his clone of Allison took her first breath, this global misery for which he is responsible began. Allison says that we don't know that. It could just be coincidence. Thomas says that the gender side may have appeared instantaneous, but by all accounts, the deaths that followed, the shockwave, spread just shy of that of 186,000 miles per second. And by his calculations, that makes these the very coordinates for ground zero for the plague. Allison asks, how can a disease travel at light speed? And Thomas explains that all life in the universe may not be connected, but all life on our planet is. Thomas eventually bought into Ming's research and convinced him that we are all surrounded by a biological equivalent of an electromagnetic field. Essentially that morphic resonance theory that Ming explained the last issue in the flashback. So that is sort of how the plague transferred. Thomas explains, so one day, a group of chimpanzees learned to smash open nuts with a stone hammer, and across the river, thousands of miles away, other chimpanzees suddenly know how to use the same tool. One day, a single man unlocks the secret of asexual human reproduction, and across the planet, men are instantly rendered extinct. There is no denying that evolution is a process in which we are all actively involved. It's survival of the fittest, and something out there has decided that males were no longer fit to survive. York asks, so if your immaculate conception killed all the men, then the stuff that you injected into ampersand was to prevent someone else's virgin birth, but it somehow had the opposite effect and kept us both alive? Thomas explains that men have long been a necessary evil for the continuation of the species, but the moment that evil became obsolete, nature righted its course. He was merely the trigger that set off a time bomb that's been ticking for a millennia. Allison starts falling asleep as Thomas begins to increase the flow of morphine into Allison. Thomas says he wants to talk with York alone, man to man. Jumping back over to the rooftop, Toyota and 355 are continuing their fight. 355 asks Toyota, why are you doing this? Toyota explains that Dr. M is Allison Mann's father, and he is going to help her live forever. She says this as she hits 355 with her weapon, and the end part of her pole breaks off. 355 tells her she's an idiot. Toyota says that's what she told Dr. M, but then he showed her all these test tube brats he engineered. He says he's only going to make copies of certain girls, and she's going to be one of them. So 1,000 years from now, there will still be a whole line of women exactly like her walking the planet. She will never really die. 355 says, then I don't feel so bad about what's going to happen next. 355, with the jagged broken piece of Toyota's weapon in her hands, runs at Toyota and stabs her in the ear with it. Toyota falls to the ground, most likely dead. But it looks like, before she got stabbed, Toyota managed to stab 355 with her Naginata weapon. Back to Thomas and York. Thomas says that he's not an evil man. He's done terrible things in his life, but this was an accident. He vowed to find York's pet and do whatever he could to bring mankind back to the planet, but over the last 4 years, he's watched the women of this country make such remarkable progress without men. He asks York, is it like that all over the world? And York replies, I don't know. I guess so. Whatever. I just want to find my girlfriend. Her name is Beth. Thomas explains that Dr. Ming, the woman that he loved, died in his arms just a few days after his wife arrived. It reminded him what a cruel creature men are. Thomas says, our bodies tell us to love so many, but there's room in our hearts for so few. We're impossibly flawed animals, aren't we? Anyway, Allison can continue my work. She and her mother will see that women live on beyond this generation, but you and I, we didn't belong in this world before the plague, and we certainly don't belong here now. Thomas, he then reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out a needle. He tells York it's time for us to go. He intends to kill York and then himself.
Are you ready for this?
She has power, but she doesn't know how to use it.
Issue 52 of Motherland, Part 4. Hero, Natalia, Siva, and Beth from Brooksfield arrive in France from the steamboat that they were on. They are going to stay together for now until they find York. Back to York and Thomas. Thomas keeps pontificating about how York and him don't belong in a world of women, but York, arguing back, fearing for his life, says, look, a few years ago, I would have been totally down with your suicide pact. I made up all sorts of excuses about how offing myself and leaving this world of the ladies would be noble and selfless. Every guy goes through a period where he's scared shitless and completely baffled by girls, right? But then we're supposed to grow up, figure out that the best place for all the great women probably isn't behind every great man. The two sides are only going to do this together. So why don't you stop being such a pussy and man the fuck up? Thomas argues if we belonged in this world, the gender side never would have happened. And York argues back, oh, sell that if man were meant to fly bullshit to somebody else. Maybe God or Buddha or Xenu or whoever didn't give us wings, but he did give us enough gray matter to build DC-10s, right? So yeah, maybe there is a reason he or she or it wiped out every other penis on the planet, but that means there's also a reason the two of us got left behind. York's arguments don't work on Thomas though, and he heads over to York to begin injecting him with the needle that will kill him. But just then, Allison pops out of her bed. Apparently, she unhooked her morphine drip the second her dad walked into the room. She tells him, you never did pay enough attention to me. Allison is holding a scalpel, and she is slowly moving towards her father. Back to the rooftop. Rose is screaming and yelling for help. Allison's mom eventually makes her way to the roof, but she's dangerous. Allison's mom then sees that 355 and Toyota have fallen down onto the roof below them. She sees Toyota dead, but she sees 355 there, and she says, we have to get her into surgery right away. Back to Thomas. Thomas says to his daughter Allison, I don't want to hurt you, but as always, if I must. Allison, holding the scalpel, says, over the last 4 years, I have cleaned York's wounds and emptied his bedpans, set his broken bones, and cured him of a dozen different kinds of food poisoning. I have invested way too much of my medical genius on his pimpled ass to lose him on the table now. Thomas asks his daughter to just let him finish what he started. Allison tells her dad, go ahead, but know that I will spend the rest of my natural life working to bring men, even assholes like you, back to this planet. Her dad says that she won't. The first clone girl killed all the men. What makes you think the first clone boy won't kill all the women? Allison says back, no, fuck that. Girls didn't destroy mankind, you did. You were awkward and sloppy, and you let your ego get in the way of your sights. And her dad asks, and how are you any different? And Allison replies, because I learned from my mistakes. I care about people other than myself, and I owe it to them to get this right. And I will get this right. Her dad says to her, you know, cutting your umbilical cord was the last time I was ever truly happy. I don't know why. And then he punches Allison in the stomach. Allison falls to the floor, but just then, one of the Allison clones walks into the room and says, scared, I heard noises. And Thomas tells the clone to get back to the nursery now. But while he is distracted, Allison charges at her dad and stabs him with the needle he was going to inject into Yorick. Thomas falls down to the ground. And then Allison, she goes over to her clone and hugs her and tells her how sorry she is. Weeks later, after all these reveals and confrontations have passed, we see that 355 is resting and recovering. Allison is there to greet her when 355 wakes up. Allison tells 355 that the blade that cut into her severed both of her fallopian tubes, so she can never be a mother. 355 laughs. She says, seriously? Oh, thank Christ. I thought you were going to tell me I was paralyzed or something. I mean, it's not like anyone's around to get me pregnant. Unless you were expecting me to carry one of your clone boys, were you? Allison says, no, Rose has selflessly volunteered for that line of duty. She's aware of the possible complications, but she has faith in my work. 355 apologizes for not having faith in Rose, as Rose risked her life to help her back in Hong Kong. 355 said, Rose is a good woman. So if you're not looking for a birthing surrogate, who did you think I'd ever make babies with? And Allison says, 355, I recognized it the second you two first set foot in my lab back in Boston. I think it's time to admit that you're in love with Yorick. And 355 replies to this, what the fuck? We've been over this. I know I muttered something to that effect the last time I was in one of your sick bands, but that was just... But Allison interrupts and says, because you confused your protective instincts with romantic feelings? No, that's why you slept with me, but there's something else going on with you and him, whether you want to admit it to yourself or not. 355 ignores this and says, look, I get people where they need to be, and right now Yorick needs to be with his girlfriend. Allison, she says, okay, if you say so. I just hope you find time to get yourself where you need to be. And then the two of them, speaking in their secret Pig Latin language that it was established that they speak in earlier volumes, they say I love you to each other. We see that Yorick and Rose are talking outside. Rose breaks the news to Yorick that she's volunteered to be one of these surrogates that will eventually give birth to Yorick's clone. Yorick's reaction to this is to ask, wait, so you're going to be my mom? Wow, my mother's going to be a smoking hot lesbian. It's a Freudian nightmare. Yorick concludes, anyway, try to be patient with him, okay? Your son is going to be a naive, self-righteous douche for the first few years, but he should be completely awesome by the time he's like 45. Allison comes outside to say goodbye to Yorick. Her and Rose are going to head back to the nursery with the clones, and Yorick and 355 are going to be heading to France by train once 355 is up for travel. As they are preparing to say goodbye, Yorick says to Allison, in all the years we've been playing hard-traveling heroes, I don't think I've ever seen you smile once. What's a guy have to do to change that? Allison then begins to cry, and Yorick, he apologizes. He says that he was just being sarcastic. But Allison replies, the times I have spent with you and your stupid monkey have been among the unhappiest of my life. I have no idea why I'm going to miss you so much. Listen to me, you have a big heart. Yorick cuts her off and says, stop. This has been sappy enough. I want to remember you belittling my many shortcomings, not leaving me with a compliment. But Allison continues, enlarged hearts are weak and fragile, Yorick. It wasn't a compliment, it was a warning. Whatever happens in France, you just stay strong, okay? And Yorick says, yeah, good luck saving the world, Allison. And Allison says, same to you, Mr. Brown. And they both hug and cry. We jump over to France. We see Beth from Australia is walking around with a picture of her and Yorick, and she is showing it to people on the street, wondering if they've seen Yorick.
This isn't a dream. This is really happening.
The stories are true.
Issue 53, The Obituarist. For the rest of this volume, we are ignoring York and our main cast, and we are going to revisit some minor characters we met along the way and see what they are up to. This issue focuses on the ex-supermodel Waverly, now a corpse disposer, who York ran into all the way back in issue 2. This issue opens in Virginia months ago. Some women are digging in a cemetery, and they run into a girl named Bobby. Bobby was a character York ran into back in Volume 3, Issue 11. She is a transgender male, woman passing for a man, who was a prostitute for the women of the post-plague world wanting to be with a man. Bobby commented to York about how he almost looked passable for a male, and his beard looked good. We see Bobby had a pretty scraggly looking fake beard. The two women in the cemetery are angry that Bobby is pretending to be a male as they spout some anti-male Amazon women propaganda at Bobby. Bobby pleads, saying he'll make love to them if they want. Everyone tells her equipment feels real. Bobby pleads that he just came here to the cemetery to visit his dad's grave. She never had a chance to visit her dad when he was alive. The angry women are getting ready to beat Bobby, but Waverly shows up and shoots a gun into the sky, and she tells the two women to step off. She tells them to get back to work as Waverly helps Bobby up from the ground. Bobby asks Waverly if she is a daughter of the Amazon, and Waverly says she is not. But she started luring those Amazon women away from a life of blowing up monuments and burning down sperm banks by offering those women actual work and a career with her. She explains that the government pays her and her crew to dispose of all the male corpses that manage to fall through the cracks. They get into Waverly's car and she drives Bobby, and Waverly comments that this one time she thought she had a conversation with their real guy, referring to York way back when. But Waverly thinks that she's just hallucinating or something because she ran out of these meds this plastic surgeon she was nailing used to give her. Bobby asks her if she is sure because the newspapers have running this picture of this living male that was spotted in Australia. And Waverly says, oh, she doesn't read those rags. Everything on them was fake, which is kind of interesting because that is exactly what York said to 355, that would be the reaction of a lot of the women that would see his picture in the paper and they would just not believe it. Waverly and Bobby continue driving down the road. Waverly says that she got a call from a woman saying that her husband used to work in the sewers and she asked if his body could be collected. Waverly, she stops the car and heads over to this manhole sewer cover in the street and pops it open. They both then climb down into the sewers. Bobby, now in the sewer with Waverly, says that if she sees a rat, she's out of here. Waverly explains that the rats only live for about 36 months tops, and since the plague killed off every male mammal, all the rats should have died years ago. As they are looking through the sewers, Waverly gets a call that there is a body down at Congress that they need picked up. This is the body of York's mom, Jennifer Brown. So Waverly, she abandons this sewer call, and she shows up at the Capitol with Bobby, and she gets introduced to the president as well as the president's Secretary of Defense. They are brought to the body of Jennifer Brown, and the Secretary of Defense says they'll be handling the investigation of the death, but they're paying Waverly to take care of the funeral arrangements for Jennifer. Waverly, she recognizes in the photograph on Jennifer's desk a picture of York as the man she met many years ago. Next, we jump to the Watergate Hotel, where Waverly is staying, and she and Bobby just had sex. Waverly, talking to Bobby, says that, I know I sound more insane than ever, but it took a dead woman to tell me maybe I'm not the bipolar lunatic I've always thought I was, and for that, I think she deserves something better than just another hole in the dirt. Her family deserves something better. Waverly, she feels Jennifer was important and feels she's earned a funeral with class. We see the funeral procession of Jennifer Brown as she gets carted down the streets of Washington in a horse-drawn procession with the American flag draped over her coffin. After the funeral, Bobby comments that paper we did was really good, and the newspapers are saying that this ceremony is going to remind people that the government